come in all, watch your step on those cables. This magic isn't very stable. We're gonna go on a trip into the rift.
This week's episode of Juked is brought to you by Team 4 Science, losing 5v5 draft picks since May 2011. When in doubt, science! Juked episode 5 archived on November 26th, 2011. Welcome to the show. I am your host, Stringo the Blingo. With me is Zenel.
Hey everyone.
Keen Corpse.
Hey.
And Domaga.
Howdy y'all.
And we're gonna get right into the meat of things because we have a ton to talk about in a very short amount of time. We're gonna jump right into this nerf to the jungle. They openly said that this is to make it more accessible, and I'm gonna start ranting about this so
Vetoed.
hard here in a second.
Vetoed the ranting.
So, okay, as junglers and as higher skilled players, I'll maybe throw that out there. This blows my mind why they would implement this. They have been doing so well with the patch and catering to the higher gaming play, and I'm speechless to why they would even put in these changes after redoing the masteries and making jungle so easy now, that they would feel that they needed to nerf it even farther.
Stringo, I think you have the wrong perception slightly about it, but this is just like my thought on it. It's not about it's about making the basic part of jungling simpler to allow lower level players to have access to that, to build like team cohesion at lower levels. It's allowing more characters to jungle. It's just making that simple act of jungling simpler so that people can focus more readily upon the skills of ganking and lane control, dragon control, and helping out their lanes. But at the same time, it's also providing a new metagame where it's making it, I mean, it does have some things that are easier, but it's also making things more difficult. Like, when should I counter jungle? When should I not counter jungle? And I think Zenel has some really good points as well.
Yeah, that's me. I'm Zenel.
It does.
That's
That's
not
just
quite
it, though.
true.
Yeah.
It exists in a different form.
What really just got easier was the actual like monster creeping part.
Clearing
like,
of your jungle.
Yeah, the clearing of your jungle.
It's more accessible now.
All the stuff about like warding and ganking and counter jungling, all that is still there, and that's where like the skill comes in, not to the.
And concerning
clearing.
counter jungling, there's been red posts clarifying things a bit, and what I've seen is that there's more like the way that they're sort of redoing camps is that there's, even for like the double golem, small golem camps, there's a big one and a small one. And the experience and the gold is heavily skewed towards the larger golem. So if you
Or wolf or
the larger creep, the larger neutral monster. There we go.
Neutral monster.
And so instead of just like taking a camp, and clearing it completely, and then then when they go back, for a counter jungle, you won't see that as much because the spawn times on the camps are so much lower. What you will see instead is you'll see them, the counter junglers taking the large neutral monster. Taking, I don't know what the percentage is, but say it's like 75% of then the XP, and gold from that camp.
Why didn't
really
they
quick,
put that in the patch preview video?
I don't know. I kind of like, honestly, I have a gripe with the patch preview, and I kind of wish they, instead of a patch preview, it's more like a patch explanation, and it comes out after the patch notes, and it explains things, like, with the patch notes at hand, instead of just like, here's like some hints to like make everybody go crazy.
People like me can get all riled up about maybe nothing.
Pretty much.
Yeah. Of
Well,
course.
okay. I think it's funny, Stringer, because you're someone who advocates skill and intelligent playing, and then you just completely went to the opposite end of that argument. There's a red post here. No, there's a red post. I will find it. Hold up, one second. It quotes.
Okay, well, while he's finding this, I'm going to explain my thought process behind it. I used to be paid to play a lovely game called World of Warcraft in their endgame rating. Back in the Burning Crusade, which was about, I'm gonna say, I think 5 years ago. In that game, the endgame rating was so difficult that Blizzard thought that they had to nerf down the content to make it more accessible to less skilled players, and they kept that design business model throughout their entire game to the point of where people just can't play it anymore because it is so easy, and ultimately it's what ruined their game, which people invested so much money into. So when it comes to games like League of Legends, where I've invested a lot of time and money into, and even hoping to put it into a career path, I get very, very, very nervous and riled up when they say that they are going to start nerfing content and changing content to make it more accessible to lower players.
When did they ever say the word nerf? I didn't see that listed anywhere.
Well, no, besides that,
Red
I
buff.
want to address your point more specifically. I totally agree with you that you really have to be careful with the whole accessibility thing and making it too accessible to unskill or lower skill level players. I think what really the
It's a
thing about the
6-button
jungle though.
game! You can't make it more accessible! I'm sorry, I'm putting that out there.
Concerning the jungle though, while the sort of like the PvE aspect of the jungle might be getting easier, I don't think it was really that difficult to begin with. There was just sort of like a higher bar of entry, meaning you had to be like pretty much level 30 and have a specific rune and mastery setup. That's not quite the case now. However, the part that makes the jungle actually difficult, the player interaction, you actually go to gank, when you try to counter ward or counter jungle or control dragon, all that kind of stuff, where the actual PvP aspect of the jungle, I don't see how that's changing much, if at all, really.
Well, other than this red buff, I guess nerf, what do we have to say about that? I don't really jungle as melee, so how is that going to change an Udyr or a Trundle gank, knowing that you can't keep them slowed the entire time?
So after this, guys, I found the red post. So after red buff, I got
Go
something
ahead.
to say.
Okay, go for it.
Can I comment on red buff real quick before we jump tracks
Of course.
a little bit?
Yeah, still on red buff.
I think I think the only thing changing with red buff was the like the percentage of the slow. I don't think the duration has changed, and it's only on the for melee characters, which is pretty much all junglers. It's not changing like if you start feeding your red buff to your carry, for team fights.
Dude,
I
that
think it's
Fiddlestick's
just
auto
the
attacks. Look at it.
yeah yeah, that part hasn't changed. I don't think. It's just the slow for melee characters, and I think that's more going in lines. That's a change that's more focused towards like obviously the ganking aspect and sort of like how they want lanes to be playing more aggressive. That's why they also changed the whole like minions damage to champions or whatever. Because they want like people to like actually like interact with their lane opponents more. And if red buff doesn't slow you quite as much, like you might like that bit will change you to be playing more aggressive.
You would play
Go for it,
hopefully
Keen.
a little bit
You're
more
you're our
aggressive 'cause
jungler.
the slow isn't as much, so you don't get killed as easily. So you can play a little bit more aggressive and take those chances without being punished too harshly.
So I guess that might make like ganking a little bit more difficult, but at the same time it might emphasize, or it might what do you call it? Not emphasize, but encourage, the actual lanes to play more aggressive.
Thus making ganking easier.
True, actually.
I think it's two sides of the same coin at this point.
Yeah, definitely. And I guess the other thing to sort of point out is that I've seen multiple Riot posts talking about how this, all these changes, or a lot of these changes are on a slider. How, it's like red buff in particular, since we're talking about it, like if they find out that, the red buff isn't good how it is now, they can always, move around how much it slows by.
Yeah,
Have we got a reaction from Stonewall about this?
I think so.
Yeah, he's
One of
posted
you
a
guys should go
video.
find it.
Oh, it's like it's just on his channel. It's like his most recent video, I think. He's
Okay, I'll
Okay,
throw that
so-
in the
Yeah.
description below for people to watch.
yeah, cool.
So
Go ahead on the red post.
There's been a lot of red posts talking. There's one guy in particular. I'm not going to mention his summoner name because that's uncool. But there's been a lot of complaints about the concept of counter jungling and a lot about just the jungle in general. And this guy, Red, am I saying that right? A Riot employee
Red, yeah.
named Zephyrus has been going out of his way to answer all these questions in a really appropriate, really great way, and I commend him for doing so, considering that some of these people he's dealing with are very ignorant and very rageful for no apparent reason. So this is what it says. When you counter jungle or steal their wraiths, for example, is a much stronger play to kill or consume only the large wraith as opposed to the others. Stealing the entire other camp only starts the respawn time higher. It's true that taking the entire enemy camp is a much less effective tactic than before, so counter jungle smarter. Part of what Riot is encouraging, besides making it more accessible to people at lower levels, is also making it more skill based. You have to be more intelligent about your jungle. You have to be more intelligent about how you approach things. I mean, because the camps will be spawning often, if someone isn't comfortable counter jungling, they'll probably be in their jungle more, meaning you have to be aware of that as well and be careful where you're going to be counter jungling them. Who knows? You might run in there and get ganked by them instead. But it also might try to steer supports to being more cautious about their CVs as well if anyone's still using it, at least from a support aspect. It means you might have to be using your CVs more defensively than aggressively to support your jungler, not just trying to find the enemy jungler or your lane.
It'll make
Just from a
CV
support
interesting, because I know at higher levels of play, like if you knew the time like that it takes a jungler to complete their jungle, you pretty much know when they're going to come out and gank. And with the jungle is now, you can pretty much stay in the jungle as long as you want, I think. So it's going to make like when you come out to gank, it'll be more unpredictable, I think. So CV will probably be taking a slightly different role.
Are they
Well,
essentially
my other
trying to
thought
make the
is-
jungle more like a lane, where like you don't really need to leave it unless you really want to?
Yeah.
Meaning,
other
like,
thought
the
I
way it
had-
is now, like, it kind of forces you to leave the jungle because all the monsters are, like, not there, they're respawning, and you're also maybe low on health and mana, so you kind of have to just back.
Exactly. That's totally what they're like. Right now, that's sort of how they view it. It's kind of like static. All right, you clear all your camps while you're waiting for them to respawn. You gank, you counter jungle, or you beat a base. And that's just like it's just this sort of set pattern that you do. And with the jungle respawning quicker, you have to sort of like choose actually when to break the pattern.
My other thought is that since they increased the experience mastery in the utility tree further down the tree, do you think the respawning camp is also helping the junglers to get back up to speed in terms of experience? So experience they would have gained from that extra little bit can now be made up for by the faster respawn of the neutral monster camps.
I'm not sure. I actually think it was because I did watch the Stonewall video, his initial impressions, and I think he actually thought it was the opposite, meaning like if you're not in your jungle clearing camps, you better be using your time wisely, kind of a thing, or else you're gonna be falling behind.
So it
So that
also
is kinda like
encourages
lane
smart gameplay.
Kinda. Yeah.
So basically, right now, junglers can kind of just start kind of like roaming around and just like don't have to be doing something constantly. And now they're trying to
now they have to manage their time
now they
a
have
lot
to manage
more,
their
I
time a
think.
lot more intelligently.
Everything we've talked about so far is
Interesting.
pointing towards skill. So all of you skeptics out there who think that this is making it easier, you are severely mistaken, my friends. This is making the game more
Hopefully.
skill-based, and whether or not you are
Hopefully, we
ignorant
don't
enough
know
to see
that
that
yet.
is something different.
Yeah,
Hopefully.
From
Hopefully.
the
I don't know about you guys, but Riot has been a company that's been very good to me. They are really great to their community. They listen to us. They do things that help
they've been
promote the
specifically
community.
good to Damaga.
Yeah, especially to me. Teachers back right up in here. But I think at the same time we have to have some level of trust that they know what they're doing. And so far, Riot has proven to me that for the most part, vast majority, gangplank, that they know what they're doing and that they're doing things that are good for the community. Right, you heard it first. Fix Gangplank, nerf him. No more getting out of that stupid Malzahar ult. No more meme about
I
eating
ate
fruit in
fruits and
K.
then I was K.
Nope, no more. Please remove it.
I'm just the gaming community right now. I know that you guys probably aren't. I'm gonna go back to the World of Warcraft reference. Is that a lot of people were severely hurt when Blizzard did those changes to World of Warcraft because it was
Did
a
they
game
cry?
that you really got invested in. I was
And you lost
I
a
was
child.
pissed off. I was really pissed off when they started doing these changes to make it more accessible to casuals because people that play it on a lower skill basis, they're the ones that will spend the most money on their game. So I think that people are very concerned about what Riot's doing because now Riot's actually starting to make real money. They're becoming really known in the esports community. So I think that they are on really the edge of a knife blade with people, and they need to be really careful. Like with all these changes that you guys are enlightening me by, they need to go out and probably make a YouTube video right now and address some of these changes because people will just stop playing.
Yeah, I agree. They need to be more transparent, or just wait more. I think they release these sort of little teaser things and it just gets the community raging, and that's not good for anybody.
I think they need to get a new PR department. Their PR department kind of wonky right now. See, if we made a video with Nikasaur explaining all of the changes,
For goodness
everybody would be
sakes!
fine.
Fanboy.
I'm just saying, dude. Why do you think they have her up there in the first place? No offense, Nikasaur.
Because
just
she's the
saying.
only girl that works for their company.
No, she's not. I've
That's
seen other
not
girls that
true,
work for her company.
but
She might be the cutest girl that works for their
We're
company.
getting off topic. We're getting off topic.
Anything else to say about the jungle? I'm just changing my stance to they need to work on their presentation. Since you
Yeah.
guys, we actually did the research and stuff, and, you know, I guess we see that this is for the better. But that, 17,000 people who dislike that video, they're not going to see that change.
Well, I'm looking forward to more varied jungles. So, like, maybe we can see an Evelyn jungle again, or maybe people will follow my lead and play a little bit of Shen jungle once in a while or something.
Actually, the part considering the jungle that I'm most like worried about, it's not really that the jungle changes, just how viable certain junglers like change, or like how it changes like the viability of certain junglers. There you go. Stonewall was commenting on this. I didn't really think about it until he brought it up, but he was talking about like the AoE junglers I think become a lot better, or at least they continue to be really strong. And then junglers like Trundle, which I think is a really cool champion, and he has been seeing a lot of play lately in high ELO and pro tournaments and stuff. He doesn't really benefit any more from this sort of new jungle. But everybody else sort of is brought up closer to his level, so he doesn't shine as much. And that sort of like makes me a little bit sad. And then just sort of like Stonewall sort of categorizes all the junglers into one or more of three different roles: control, ganker, and farmer. And like with the new jungle, those roles sort of change.
Your mic muted yourself.
Yeah,
Your
my
mic just cut
I
out.
know. It just cut out. Sorry
Keep going,
about
keep going.
that.
Keep going.
The control junglers we might be seeing more duelists in the control jungler sort of thing instead of like people actually going out controlling their jungle because of the whole how counter jungling is going to change. Well, I don't know. It'll be interesting to see how sort of just the roles of junglers change, I guess, and that's I guess my biggest worry, if anything. Counter jungling might be more like I go in and kill you as opposed to I go in and take your camps. And I guess that's a little bit strange.
So we might start hearing a new meme. They're in our jungle, killing our dudes.
Oh my gosh. Please don't. Please don't. Anyways,
get started.
okay. So, we're about halfway through with the podcast, so I'm gonna call a break, then we can talk about some Void Bear, and then hit up
Volibear.
the mailbox if we have time.
Void Bear?
See you guys in a little bit. You are listening to an archive of Juked. During a live show, this is when we would play music and play an ad for our live viewers. Live shows will begin in the new year. If you're interested in tuning in, keep an eye on our website at igptv.com or on our facebook.com/Innergeekproductions. To submit your ad to Juked, please contact us at Innergeekproductions@hotmail.com. If you're viewing this on our YouTube page, please remember to leave a comment, thumbs up or down this video, and subscribe to this video if you want to stay updated on our work. Now, back for more Juked. Anywho, so let's get back into this. Welcome back to Juked, ladies and gentlemen. You're back with the much more calmed down Stringo, Zenol, Damaga, and Keen Corpse. We're talking about Voidbear. It's Voidbear now, I've decided. It is happening.
Alright.
It's Volibear.
Voidbear!
Like
Just for you, Stringo.
It's Volibear, like polar bear. It's a joke. It's a play on words.
Anyways, Volibear. So we're gonna go through some of his abilities. His passive is Chosen of the Storm. Volibear heals rapidly for a few seconds when his health drops to a critical level. Wow.
To me that sounds like a Blitzcrank passive,
Yeah, it
but
sounds like
instead
a-
of the shield, he gains massive regeneration.
If you get out of a fight,
Now,
will
really,
the
regeneration-
Karthus' ult won't kill you, maybe.
Will the regeneration be affected by base regeneration? So like a Warmogs will be mandatory on this guy for the extra
We
health
have no
regen,
idea
or
at
is it
this
going to be like
point.
separate?
I don't know.
Well, just speculating, of course. Because like think
Yeah,
about that.
I think
Build
it'd be
him
cool
like
It
if
should
it.
be OP.
I think it'd be cool, yeah, if you could buff essentially his passive by building a bunch of health regen, like a
Spirit
Shadow.
Visage or
Isn't
Warmog.
Blitzcranks by how much mana you
Yeah.
have, how big the shield gets?
It's 50% of his
Yeah.
total
Yeah.
mana.
Yeah.
So,
So I could
And-
see that, yeah.
That's why you build health on like Mundo, right? It's because it's percentage.
Yeah.
So yeah, if it was percentage, that'd be kind of cool.
Yeah, that would be really cool. That'd be interesting too. It's like he can run in, like tank people, because he looks like he's tanky DPS to me, definitely.
Again,
I think he's. I heard actually. I wish I could find it though. One Red saying something like he's supposed to be kind of like Udyr, but a little bit more offensive, a little bit less tanky, or something like that.
he looks
I don't
like
know,
a
we'll see.
mix of
Of course,
Udyr,
that's the way he's
Blitzcrank,
intended
and Rammus. Because of
Yeah.
his Q.
Yeah.
And we'll go through his
Yeah.
Rolling Thunder. Volibear drops to all fours and he runs faster to chase an enemy champion. The first enemy he hits knocks them into the air, which is basically a rollout on Sir Rammus.
Actually, it's the first enemy he attacks, which to me sounds like it buffs his next attack, which I find kind of
Oh,
interesting.
okay. Yeah.
To me, it
So a little
sounds
bit
kind of
different.
like
A little bit different.
On hit effect.
Udyr / like Sinjao or something.
Yeah. Well, it's kind of like Udyr's bear stance, except like he can only like knock up one target, instead of just like every thing he hits,
Yeah.
if it's not within 6 seconds.
Be great for ganking, from the sounds of it. So maybe I
Definitely.
think he's gonna be a jungler,
Yeah,
probably.
definitely.
He looks like a jungler to me.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I was
that's what I'm
talking.
thinking too.
I was talking to Keen, and it sounds we both sort of agree. It seems like he has a pretty good kit for the jungle.
Frenzy.
I think he's just good for lane or jungle.
Frenzy Volibear's repeats attacks grant him additional attack speed. Once Volibear has repeatedly attacked 4 times, he performs a vicious bite on his target.
He can perform. It looks like it might
What?
be activated.
What? I'm sorry,
Yeah.
I'm having terrible
It
trouble
says
reading
he-
today. Anyways, what?
Well, just
Well, at the end it says he can perform a vicious bite, so that to me that sounds like he might be able to activate it.
Is it like
Yeah.
Like
Kassadin?
he like revs up stacks, kind of, maybe kind of like Cassidon, but with auto attacks.
let's see.
And then the part before that where it says
Yeah.
Volibear's repeated attacks, grant him additional attack speed. To me, that sounds kind of like a Guinsto's Rage Blade, where he like revs up stacks too,
Yeah.
and gets faster and faster the more stacks he has.
And then on the 4th one, it like allows him to activate the ability to do the vicious bite.
I wonder if he'll consume the stacks.
Is vicious bite
I hope not.
Yeah.
what Trundle does? Just jumps forward.
I want to say ferocious, maybe.
I wonder. Wonder what that's gonna actually do. If it's just more damage, or if it's gonna do
Probably
a
Red's
dot.
armor or something.
Yeah.
Rabid bite.
Rabid bite.
Okay.
Yeah.
And
It's probably gonna debuff.
Majestic Roar, Volibear lets out a powerful roar that damages and slows enemies. Minions and monsters are feared as well. Yeah, that tells me
He's gonna
jungle.
own the jungle with
that
that
tells me
so hard.
jungle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or actually, I was talking to Keen about this as well.
Kind of bizarre.
It's kind of
No. No, it's awesome. You can save towers. You can push lanes with that, or you can save your own tower. So he runs up and he hits it, and the
That's
entire minion wave is
interesting.
feared. Or if you're
that's a
attacking
really
a tower,
good point.
you can run behind the enemy tower and fear the minion wave to keep the wave off of the tower as you're attacking it.
Okay, that's
an aggressive
bizarre, but
passive thing.
kind of awesome.
Well, it also helps him be a
Yeah.
jungler because he can support his lane more if he needs to. It's
Yeah, but-
awesome.
Or like when he goes to
By being
gank, he
able
like
to,
fears the enemy minions, so you don't take like tons of minion aggro.
Yeah.
Or they get pushed out of
Yeah.
the way, so you can get through them
And
without having
it's
to track on them.
It's a AoE as well, right?
Mm-hmm.
Lets out Aurora,
Yes.
damages and slows enemies.
Yeah.
So
Plural.
that's AoE, that's great for jungling.
Yeah, between Frenzy and Majestic Roar, like that seems great for clearing the jungle, and then Rolling Thunder is great for coming into gank.
I'll
Yeah,
imagine that
he
you
looks
put
like
a
a jungler
point
to me.
into Frenzy at first in the jungle, just to get that additional attack speed.
Probably.
Then put a point
and
in
then maybe
Majestic
two into
Roar.
Majestic Roar.
Yeah, then
And then
Roaring
Rolling
Thunder for
when you come to
ganking.
gank.
Yep,
Yeah.
one into Roaring Thunder. So
So
that's what
what
I'm
would
thinking.
that be?
Okay, Thunder Claws, his ultimate, Volibear channels the power of the storm, causing his attacks to blast his targets with lightning that bounces to other nearby enemies. Great for clearing waves,
It sounds
probably.
like he's got a built-in, he's a built-in, what is that thing called? Tiamat. Yeah, I can see
Ionic
Tiamat
Spark.
stacking
It's
on that.
Ionic Spark from Dominion.
I like
I
Tiamat's
think
better,
that's
though.
what it's
'cause-
called.
Yeah, I can see that
It
as
says
well.
bounce. It says bounce, so I don't think it's AoE.
Yeah. Well, not in
No, but
not
he-
in the Tiamat
Well,
sense,
yeah,
at least.
not in the Tiamat sense. It'll
No,
probably,
but Tiamat
you know,
on
like,
him would be
he slashes
sick.
you and then a lightning like arcs to a single enemy or something like that. So he goes like
It's so
slash arc
weird.
arc.
I hope it has a sweet storm animation. Like, I hope he gets a little storm cloud over him that like shoots the lightning down as he's hitting you. That'd be sick. I don't know how I feel about that ultimate.
I don't know. I think it synergizes well with his Frenzy, and he sounds like he's gonna be more
Attack based,
Kinda-
like auto attack.
yeah, like I could see like something like a Wit's End being really good on him, kind of like Shyvana, which I kind of like how they're doing that because like previously a lot of their tanky DPS champions have just been like Trinity Force, Trinity Force, Trinity Force, you know,
Boring.
and
That I
might
don't
not
think
be,
that,
you know,
I
as good
think
on him.
Wit's End is getting a lot more attention as well. I've been seeing it on a few carries sometimes, and even some occasional like assassins, or not assassins, but well, yeah, I guess assassins like Xin Zhao. I've seen that on a couple of them.
So this guy's probably gonna be mana based, right?
He might be.
Probably.
I don't know.
They'll never
That'd be
mention.
crazy if he was cooldown based.
I don't know if they're doing it like that or not. They haven't mentioned energy or rage, so it's definitely not those two.
Dude, how sweet would it be if there was a
Yeah,
ninja bear
probably not.
costume and used
I'm
energy?
fairly certain it'll probably just be mana.
Yeah, I'd actually be surprised if it wasn't anything but mana.
Okay, so that's enough for Volibear. We do have like 10 minutes left. So, Dodge. Yeah, let's talk a bit about Dodge. They took our advice,
yeah.
you guys. They took our advice. They do listen. They're taking
High
it
fives
out.
all around. High fives.
Popular.
Nintendo
High
5.
So, one of the 3 people that listen to this podcast is Freak. Like I told you guys it was. They're refunding us Dodge runes, which we said that they wouldn't. And, wow. That blows my mind.
I'm actually really excited because it's like, whoa, I can like buy other runes that I'm wanting more.
Or I can buy a
and
champion.
or I can buy a champion. Yeah.
Maybe I'll
It's
buy a
like,
Volibear.
sweet. Although they say they're like gonna be releasing new runes apparently, and like, damn, like what the hell are they gonna do?
Like, we're getting rid of Dodge, but
Don't
here's
make them
Parry.
hella expensive.
Yeah.
Oh, no, Parry, please.
You have to be facing
Parry.
towards the target instead. Oh gosh. I hate stats like that. I'm just throwing that out there. I hate stats like that.
Actually,
Yeah.
I'm excited to see what they do with Jax. What do you think they're gonna do with Jax to make up for the lack of dodge?
Make him more
Spell
OP.
shield.
Depends
Spell
on.
shield.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm
Spell shield,
personally.
nah.
They're gonna have to redo
should,
Jax
like,
and part
They're
of
removing.
Udyr
Actually, I
completely.
haven't thought about if they're removing dodge.
I've thought about it in the past, but I can't remember
Udyr will
right
probably
now.
just get some defensive stats. You know, either like just some armor or maybe a little bit of armor and magic resist.
You see, I was
Udyr,
reading
I think, is
the
actually pretty
YouTube comments
simple.
about this, and everybody's like, they're not taking out dodge completely out of the game. They're just taking out the runes. But I mean, only having that 5% dodge, that's not gonna do squat. You want to stack a dodge. You don't want to just have a tiny bit.
Mm-hmm.
Well, they're phasing it out.
Yeah,
They're actually
no.
completely
Yeah.
removing
Yeah.
it from the game.
They
Yeah,
are
I think
removing it
eventually
David
they're going
talked
to take it
about
off
it.
all champions. Like, they've already taken this regarding the Sivir remake, they took dodge off of her passive. So that's kind of a start right
Yeah,
there.
I'm quite happy
Yep.
about the Sivir thing. She needed some love really bad.
But
I
for
really like her remake, but we'll get into that in a minute.
yeah, for like Jax, I was thinking they could do something like, um, instead of only being, like right now he can only use the ability after dodging. Instead, like it just works like a normal ability, and it just like he can just when it's off cooldown, he can just use it any time. But then when it's on cooldown, like maybe the cooldown's a little bit longer than it normally is, but then it gets like reduced. Maybe the more times he takes like physical attacks, like auto attacks or something,
Yeah,
like
and then
reduces
if
its
they want to
cooldown
give
or
him some
something.
defensive stats on that, yeah, they just give him like a little bit of armor each time for each rank or something like that.
Actually, guys, they're gonna have to
Kind of
change
like
his
the
ultimate
Jarvan standard or something.
because his
Why would
ultimate
they have
gives
to
him
change his ult?
because his ult gives him magic resistance equal to a flat percentage or a flat amount plus percentage of his dodge rating.
Oh, right, you're right. I forgot about that. Huh.
So that's gonna be interesting to see.
I guess they'll just have to
Maybe
tweak
they'll
that
just do
around.
a full rework, you know? Try to keep the spirit of him, you know, probably mostly keep Leap Strike and Empower, but just completely change Counter Strike in his ultimate.
Hotshot is gonna cry,
or
man.
something.
He's gonna be
Well,
so sad.
Yeah, who
I
knows
know.
though? Maybe they'll like somehow pull off some weird specific mechanic just for Jax that isn't actually dodged, but somehow like or like I don't think they
Replicates
want
it.
it like RNG based, you know, random number generator based, but like somehow give him some spirit that like something in the same spirit. I don't
What
know.
if they did something like when he suffers an auto attack, it like gives him temporary armor, and while he has this temporary armor, he can use Counter Strike or something.
Yeah. I know. Who knows? There's a lot of creative people there. I'm sure they'll come up with something that's pretty cool. There's a lot of. I mean, it's kind of nice though because like they didn't really like. I know they didn't really like Jax's, you know, kit a whole lot, mostly because of the whole what do you call it? Just the random number generator thing. But but now that they're just straight up removing dodge, so they can just like literally just re-envision him if they wanted to.
Okay, so I think that's enough for dodge. I think that's everything to
Well, we
that's
could get into
game
Sivir
changing.
slightly.
Yeah, but
Sivir remake.
is there really
You want
much
to talk
to
about
talk
that?
about other than like her one move doesn't really talk
It's Zenel,
anymore.
dude.
Yeah,
He
go for
found
it.
all the information out about it.
Yeah, probably. Go for it, Zenel. Go for it. I want to hear about it.
Let's see. The passive, as we know, has changed to like a movement speed thing when she like auto attacks. I saw somebody posting numbers, a red posting numbers. It's like she gains 50, I think it was, movement speed for 2 seconds every time she auto attacks. I don't know if it stacks at all. I'm guessing not, but it allows her to be pretty mobile. You know, do like the hit move kind of thing, really micro kind of intensive sounds, but pretty cool. It kind of allows her to kite too, I think, with speed instead of slows or whatever. Um, her Q, the boomerang blade or whatever it's called, is now physical damage, and I think they removed the AP scaling on it. Um, I don't know how its damage is changing. Like, if I think it's supposed to still hit pretty hard. I just hope it doesn't fall off too quickly if it goes through too many minions or whatever. That's my biggest worry. I hope they sort of gave it an overall slight buff in that regard. The biggest change probably being her
Ricochet.
ricochet, no longer a toggle that, you know, drains mana on each auto attack.
I
Now
love it.
it's a ranged on next hit ability, which I find really fascinating and really cool. And the other kind of cool thing about it is I saw a red post saying it's cooldown at max rank will be 3 seconds. Which I find really cool.
I was thinking with
A
the
3
3-second
second
cooldown.
on next hit. Oh,
With
and
her-
it bounces at rank 1. At rank 1, it bounces 5 times. All ranks bounce 5
Sweet.
times, but from the very beginning, it bounces 5 times.
So I was thinking, with the short enough cooldown on it, do you think that Sivir could be using a Trinity Force in the future? I think that'd be interesting to see.
That would be interesting.
That would be. I could
Yeah.
see that. That'd be really cool.
Yeah.
And since the Ricochet is a proc on hit, will it apply on hit effects? So is it possible to Trinity Force proc it?
It applies on hit effects on the first thing that it hits. So
That's
yes, I
okay.
think
So
so.
they're not changing that portion?
Well, yeah, that's just like normal on hit effects though, actually. I mean, what is it? Yorick's Q is like that. Shyvana's Q, Poppy's Q. Those are all like more or less on hit effects. You know, they reset the attack auto hit timer or whatever, so you want to use it directly after another auto attack, like immediately after to like essentially
Hers
get a
works
double.
like that,
Hers works like that, yeah.
and all those abilities apply Trinity Force.
Yeah, because it's
So,
essentially an auto attack that's modified.
Going off of that, then it probably will.
Yeah,
Does
I
that
would
mean we could see
imagine so.
Sivir in the
that
jungle?
sounds like she could be.
Probably not, but who knows? It's possible.
Level 1 Ricochet 5 times, dude.
Yeah, I
on
mean,
hit
she
effects?
actually has
Interesting.
like between Ricochet and Boomerang Blade, both are AoE. I guess it's possible.
Oh, that would be cool. I'd like to see her in the
If you
jungle.
had a carry
actually.
jungler, who would you send bottom with your?
Another
Uh,
You'd
carry.
still
support,
probably have
though.
a carry. You'd still have a
You'd
carry.
go dual
Guess so.
carry.
Yeah, I mean, it's like kind of like having a Gangplank jungle.
No, it's not.
Regarding her ultimate and her spell shield, I don't think those are
No,
really
you'd
changing
send Garen
at all.
bottom with your support.
I kind of wish her spell
Zero
shield.
CS Garrett.
I kind of wish her spell shield got a little bit of love. Like right now, it's pretty much just a
Nocturne.
spell shield that technically kind of regenerates some mana if you block something. Like you get its mana
Yeah,
cost
it's not like
back
Nocturnes.
doubled. Nocturnes does all sorts of crazy shit.
It's a steroid.
Yep.
It's a shield. What steroids?
Just as we
Anyway, that's what I know about Sivir.
just as we finish up on Sivir, I know it really doesn't matter, but I think that her skins need a bit of love. I think that her overall unit needs to be redone. Her and Katarina
Yeah.
Stringo,
kind of ridiculous.
did you ever get a Pax Sivir skin?
No, no.
Okay, I think I have one more. I'll look one for you,
Dude,
dude.
throw that at me.
changes your opinion about
Dude,
Sivir.
throw that over here. What's going on? Then I don't have to buy the one on sale right now.
Let's see if I can
a
find
buck.
it.
Yeah, you should totally go get that for me. So yeah, I think that I don't know. I know it doesn't matter, but her and Katarina, they look kind of ridiculous compared to the other female champions. So we're going
Actually,
to be.
I just remembered
Oh,
one
go
last
ahead.
thing. Really quick on Sivir. She's getting, I think, some base stat tweaks. I think her base stats were kind of high compared to other AD carries to compensate for her range, so that's getting balanced a bit. But her range is getting increased to 500. So it's not like full-on 80 carry range, but it's significantly better than the 425 that she had previously.
Will they ever give her full carry status? Will they
Probably
ever give
not.
it to her?
No.
It's
That's
concerning her
sad.
range. I mean, that's kind of her identity in its own respect, I think.
Kind of
know.
like how Caitlyn's got
She is
OP range
almost
versus
an
her.
exact copy of somebody who was in Dota, and her name is just escaping me right now. It was the Huntress. So I don't know. They'll probably trying to keep that bit of nostalgia back from the Dota days. So we're gonna start wrapping things up. I couldn't find anything in our mailbox. Wait, hold on. Let me check it right now. I have one in my inbox, and it's from DeviantArt. Daily deals, new holiday HQ. Check out today's deal. So if you guys are interested in holiday deals from DeviantArt, get right on that. That's from our fan. What a lovely person. So I looked at the Riot forums to see if I could find a backup question, and it was just a bunch of people QQing about the patch. One guy did have an intelligent post. Did you guys know that Malkite bot is OP because he can still use Fortify? That hacker.
What?
Wait, what?
Malkite bot, he can still use Fortify. Just so you guys know. So look
Oh,
out for
bot. Oh, bot, as in like
bot, as
like
in the
a
bot,
robot,
computer
as in.
bot.
Yeah.
So look out.
What?
He's coming after you. So that's been all for today
Wait.
on Juked.
Wait, where do you find a Maokai bot? What game
Malphite?
mode?
What?
How do you find him? Malphite. Oh, I think you said Maokai.
Malphite?
Malphite. Okay.
What it?
Yes.
This has
I
been
thought you said
everything
Maokai.
for
I'm like,
today.
Maokai?
Thank you for listening to Juke. This has been Stringo, Tizeno, King Corpse, and Tomaga. Have a wonderful day. Good
Love you.
gravy. Oh,
Later.
oh, announcement. We're gonna have music next week. It's gonna be a world preview. I know Damaga's gonna like it. It should be ready for next week's Juke, and it'll be played archived. I was gonna say live, but we don't do a live show. So that is something to look forward to. I think Damaga's gonna like it. He's gonna love it. So
Yeah,
depending how the
buddy.
editing process goes, whether it'll be released next week or the week after that. So
Oh
thank you
god,
for
is
listening.
it our voices auto-tuned?
And I'll
Did
catch
you
you
auto-tune
all
your
next
voice?
time. Thank you for listening to Juke. Goodbye. Welcome back from Inside the Rift. We hope you enjoyed yourself and that you learned something. Remember to email us at innergeekproductions@hotmail.com with your questions with the tagline Juked. If you're viewing this on our YouTube channel, please thumbs up this video, comment, and subscribe to this channel for more insanity. You can get the MP3 of this show from our website igptv.com and soon from iTunes. Remember to send us in your replays to be casted at innergeekproductions@hotmail.com. See you next week on Juked.